Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. On behalf of all of NOLA Public Schools and the Orleans Parish School Board, I do want to thank you for joining us and for joining us for our live stream this morning. I want to thank our school leaders who are here and super excited to be able to share our results. Despite the challenges of a global pandemic as well as Hurricane Ida, our school family persevered, and we are so super proud of our scholars and our educators for the hard work that they've done despite the learning disruptions of the past 3 years. To our amazing school leaders, I thank you for your dedication and your tireless efforts in helping improve school performance and ensuring that our babies would succeed in the classroom and beyond. Our schools have done a tremendous job in engaging our most vulnerable scholars, from building lesson plans to implementing interventions and strategies that kept them on track to help them succeed throughout this incredible last few years that we've had. And as we move through the pandemic, that work continues. As you know, the Louisiana State Department of Education recently released its school performance scores, or SPS. For the 21-22 school year, and this morning we are sharing that information. So after analyzing the data, which will serve as a baseline, and so you're going to hear that word quite often, baseline. This data serves as a baseline, and we are looking at our data and want to announce that for this previous school year, our school system is maintaining a letter grade of C as far as our overall performance. Now, there are some bright spots as well as some work that we know needs to be done as we move forward. I want to first lift up a positive piece around the meaningful progress that our schools made over the last year. There's a growth index that's based on points that schools can receive when students reach their growth for mastery goals, when students perform well on assessments compared to students with similar demographics, and for students who maintain high levels of achievement year over year. And for that particular measure, 79% of our schools fell in the A and B category, and this is for growth. Now, several district schools also demonstrated amazing growth even during the pandemic, and again, also with Hurricane Ida and the learning disruptions that occurred there. We had 14 schools that showed an overall improvement in their SPS since the 2019 school year. And you'll recall that 2019 was the last year that we really had firm data as it relates to our SPS, because last year's data was simulated, and the previous year of 2020 there was no test scores. And so of those schools, we had 14 schools to change their SPS since 2019, including Renew Sci-Tech Academy at Laurel, improved by more than 10 points since 2019. Booker T. Washington High School improved by over 8 points. Renew Schaumburg improved over 7 points, as well as Frederick Douglass, Einstein Charter, Walter L. Cohen, the NET, Renew Dolores T. Aaron Elementary School, George Washington Carver, Hines at Lakeview, Langston Hughes, Homer Plessy, the Rooted School, and Einstein all improved above the 2019. And I want to give a special shout out to Renew because of the amazing achievement that the entire network made over the course of the pandemic. So big shout out to our leaders and to the work that's being done within our schools. Now, several schools have been recognized for their outstanding impact with student growth and helping historically disadvantaged scholars excel. So we have 7 of our NOLA public schools that have received top gains and are being honored for this recognition. And 3 schools were named Opportunity Honorees. So the top gain schools include Elon Academy Charter School, and super proud of Elon because this is one of our single sites that's also a non-selective entry school. So huge shout out to Elon for the growth that they've made. Also, George Washington Carver High School. And this is an amazing achievement for a high school because it is very challenging for high schools to achieve this level, and especially, again, as a non-select high school. Also, shout out to Edward Hines Charter at Lakeview, Benjamin Franklin High School, Alice Hart Elementary, the Willow School, formerly Lusher, and also Lake Forest Elementary Charter Schools. Big shout outs to all of those schools for being top GAIN honorees. Our opportunity schools, and then we had 3 in this category to include Ben Franklin High School, the Willow School, and again, Lake Forest Elementary Charter School. So again, big shout out for the improvement and the hard work and dedication that's happening within all of our schools. So we do have opportunities for improvement, especially as it relates to our K-8 schools, where some of our schools did experience a decline. And specifically, we did have 8 schools that dropped to a letter grade of F between 2019 and 2022. Our schools previously that were rated as F, we did have some that improved, including Renew of Schaumburg is no longer in that category, and any amount of growth and improvement is worthy of celebrating, and so we do celebrate that. Overall, we are proud of all of our scholars and also of our teachers and the leaders that have supported schools during this difficult time. Our schools provide a culture of learning that enriches our students' educational journeys through arts, through sports, through restorative practices, even culinary arts programs, as well as dual enrollment classes, career and technical education, and our upcoming Portrait of a Graduate. As our state has moved forward, we are also being very intentional, especially around the implementation of Act 108, which requires all of our K-3 teachers to receive training on the science of reading. Our schools have done some exemplary work, and our teachers are thriving, and we do have some amazing teachers who are engaging in this work. So we look forward to supporting our schools and their literacy programs as they're providing a solid foundation for our scholars to achieve both socially and emotionally, as well as academically through the next year. More importantly, we look forward to working with our higher ed communities and being able to support our teachers through a teacher academy. We look to learn more about what this looks like as we engage with our higher ed partners. We're excelling and innovating in areas, and we acknowledge the opportunity for growth at the same time throughout our school system. The pandemic, coupled with Hurricane Ida, led to learning disruptions, and our scores reflect that. Our district, along with countless others throughout the nation, experienced this. As a district, we can use this, again, to serve as a snapshot of the learning that's taken place, but also, again, as a baseline for the work that we need to do as we move forward. Our next steps entail studying what our exemplar schools and our exemplar teachers are doing, and doing more to make sure that we're achieving success as we replicate the best practices that we see throughout our school district. The idea is to build on those good and best practices that are already in place, and we've got many examples of that throughout the district. More specifically, look to learn more about how we're supporting our teachers, as well as NOLA Cares. And NOLA Cares is our community access to resources and equity. The foundation of it is really supporting mental health and wellness. Also, we're working on a 5-year portfolio plan. So look to learn more about some of the shifts that we will make in how we support our schools and how we work intentionally to achieve district optimization. Also, our advisory groups. I'm super excited to begin working with our students as well as teachers and our community leaders in advisory groups as we learn more about the challenges that our district and community faces, but also about the celebrations that we know that are in place, including the work that's being done at each of our schools. So in addition, we will continue to engage the community and support our schools as we recruit and support talent within all of our schools. Our teacher talent pool is key to educating and inspiring our scholars, and also in providing a high quality education that our scholars and this community deserves. And again, we are excited about being able to present these scores. Looking at the celebrations, I could not be more pleased at the talent that I know we have within this room and within all of our schools, while at the same time knowing that we've got work to do as we use this baseline data to again set goals for what the future of NOLA PS will look like. And with that, I will take your questions.
Were you at all surprised with the C score? Was it better or worse than you expected, or what were you expecting?
It's difficult to determine what to expect when you think about the unprecedented 3 years that all school districts across the nation have experienced. We maintained the letter grade that we had before, and I think being able to do that despite the many learning disruptions and the trauma that our community has continued to experience, I can't be real disappointed in that. And again, looking at it as a baseline and knowing that we've got the right leaders in place to be able to move forward in a positive way.
Marie?
Could you give some examples of those best practices that you've seen in schools over the last couple months?
Absolutely. So first of all of our schools that have grades K through 3, kindergarten through 3, are engaging in the science of reading. And I've seen so many teachers who are not only being intentional about how they do their individual instruction and small group instruction, but making it relevant. I've heard some amazing conversations where scholars are using real life experiences as they engage in the work. And we know that relevance is a big piece when it comes to engaging students from an academic standpoint. I think one of the most inspiring things that I've seen is the relationships. We have some caring and committed teachers and leaders within our district, and there's a saying that students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and I've just really enjoyed seeing the relationships that have been built, and knowing that our scholars have an opportunity for restorative practices and for addressing trauma that many of our families have experienced over the year.
Any more questions?
All right, thank you all so much. Thank you.